Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another brand new episode of the Twitch podcast. And of course, as always, you got your two favorite co-hosts here up in the virtual studio. Got my boy Brad over here, aka the White Rhino, and of course, Eduardo. How are you doing today, brother?
Oh, I've had better days.
Well, good thing we don't see you at a trap house and just drugs being transported in and out of the house, and in a bad situation. I guess you could say you're trying to make the best of a bad situation. This is what it looks like, right? So
sure. Well, I had sort of a mental breakdown tonight.
Okay.
That I finally, I had the dinner. I went to the store, got $150 worth of lobster, crab, shrimp. I was like cooking everything, but it was like a situation where my heart and my mind were colliding. Right?
Okay.
Like my heart was telling me, hey, I want to do something really nice, but my brain was telling me, you've been working too much, you've been around too many people, and I need to unplug. I need to be away from 100% of people.
Yeah.
And it collided tonight at dinner, or making dinner. So now I have $150 worth of food that will never get eaten.
Well, dude, if I was there, we'd definitely make the best of that, and chow and enjoy life and enjoy food and all that stuff. So, hey, man.
Yeah.
That's what we're here, right?
I'm going to look for some homeless people. I'm gonna
just cook them up dinner.
Just going to give them, hey, here's some dinner that didn't get to eat, and I'd like you guys to feast tonight. Man,
that would be something though. Just rolling up on a couple just people that are outside, just living homeless, and just start cooking for them up. I would want to see that reaction. I think that's something that we would have to do something like that on the fly, just to see the reaction of people. Like, what the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
Is he on something?
Sure. It's the way to do it, man. And maybe the world can put me under more stress, and I'll do it more often.
Oh shit! Fair enough. Well, of course, I mean, dude, I feel like this whole week we've had just a number of events happening. But of course, I think last weekend was the Super Bowl. I think it was last weekend, right? Was it last weekend?
Yeah, I think so.
So did you end up watching it, or what did you think? What were your thoughts on that, man? What did you end up doing? Anything for it?
I don't have cable and I don't watch TV, so I missed the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Heard it was a good one, and I've got little Izzy here.
Oh yeah, shout out to Izzy right there. We got our third co-host. Oh, hot potato.
Poor little thing doesn't know Daddy's on the verge of a mental breakdown. I tried to explain it to her, but she doesn't understand.
she keeps thinking that you're gonna play like a game or something with her, like a mental breakdown. But it's like, no, I think life or death.
Whole family thinks I just pretend when I tell everybody I'm about to explode, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's funny." Jeez. Yeah, until I light the house on fire and go, Lisa Left Eye Lopez, and little thing down. I might even explode on this podcast. Like I might throw this right through the window.
There was a funny video you sent me that in regards to this scenario, right? I guess you sent me that video of what is it that this little kid's on the bleachers and he just hops right off. I was like, whoa, that's pretty heavy right there,
it's
man.
Over.
Oh man, we'll have to definitely retag that on the on the Instagram's podcast, or on the podcast Instagram. Whoa, I'm definitely out of it today. So definitely follow us on that to see what we're talking about in reference of when we say stuff like that, because we're all about memes and just having a good laugh when we repost stuff or whatever. We send each other stuff in DMs. So we'll definitely have to post that up, and definitely follow us there if you haven't. But yeah, man. So you didn't watch Super Bowl. Obviously, the talk of the Super Bowl was pretty much the halftime show.
I did watch that.
Okay. So Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, 50 Cent, Mary J. Blige came back at it. Dude, Dr. Dre's birthday was, I want to say it was today or yesterday, but 57 years old, man, and he's looking solid, man. Just lean machine, and just looks good, dude. And it was cool seeing that. And what's even a trip, it's like, there was all these memes going around that, for the people that grew up in that era, when The Chronic came out, was it Dr. Dre 2001? Like, we felt like old heads. Like, kids were probably saying, like, who are these guys, And
right.
Like, it was just that thing where, America knew what was up when all those songs were being played because it was like that was a core time in people's lives when that was always happening, you know, especially within the club. 50 Cent, Eminem, Kendrick Lamar being the newest thing, the newest wave, I guess you can say, for the most recent stuff. So it was cool to see that, especially because, you know, you and I are rap hip hop heads, so it's like, you know, it definitely is something that we can relate to, which I think it was dope to see. And they killed it. Yeah, man, it was an awesome performance. I think this was probably one of the best ones. Even my wife was saying that it was a really good one. So definitely, man, they blew it out of the water.
Our generation finally got the halftime show we deserved.
All that
when
time.
I saw it, I was just like, I mean, the only artist on there that I didn't really get into was Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Because I think he came out just a little bit later past everybody else, but still, it was just so awesome to see our generation finally get their shine.
Yeah, you know? Definitely. And I think Dr. Dre even said it himself in a interview. I think it was the day before the Super Bowl. And he was just saying, you know, this was the time that I feel like, you know, it's kind of long overdue, but we're going to definitely go out there and give you a performance to remember. And sure enough, they did. And he said it was kind of like long overdue in a sense. That's kind of what he was saying. But yeah, overall, man, the halftime show was dope. It was awesome. The game itself was pretty good. It wasn't really like one of those typical, like, you know, it's Super Bowl games are kind of like a hit or miss because it's always like a slow pace, low scoring game. Or, you know, it can be a shootout, but this one was definitely, you know, it was really close. And obviously, what is it? The LA Rams took it, so congrats to them. But the Burrows, the quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals, a stud too. So they're saying that, you know, that's not going to be his last Super Bowl that he's going to make it to. He's definitely going to be one of those dudes that is going to, you know, make it to the end, you know, every other year or whatever, you know. So definitely, so it was a good time, good thing. So yeah, man, good stuff overall though. It was definitely a good Super Bowl halftime show and a good game. But yeah, it was solid, dude. But
nice.
Other than that, though, man, I mean, okay, so we're gonna dive in, and you know, let's just get into it hot and ready. Obviously, there's been a lot of stuff going on, just interesting stuff. I could say stuff that's just kind of like, you know, whoa, you know. But we're gonna do something crazy on this off the tip. Little segment we like to call on this podcast. And the first one, obviously, let's go conspiracy time, and let's put a little imaginary tinfoil hats on. And actually, no. I don't know. What do you want to do? Do you want to do the Tinder Swindler, or do you want to go to the Epstein? Which one do you want to do, bro? I'll let you roll it down on this
one. I want to go right into Tinder Swindler.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so ahead. I'm gonna read a little bit about it's sort of so this all started off from what I've heard about on a Netflix TV series or a Netflix actually documentary that's called The Tinder Swindler, and I've seen this floating around through the interwebs, mostly Twitter, just reposting some stuff about it, kind of talking about it. So it kind of got my attention at that point, right? So I'm gonna read a little, I guess you could say, description on what this person is, and we're gonna dive into just kind of how everything took place and just go into little details on just the outcome, what happened, and just ultimately, you know, where it left off, I guess you could say. So the Tinder Swindler, let's go into that. An Israeli man born Shimon, is that his name? What is his last name?
I don't know. I don't have my notes in front of me. My notes were on my phone. And
So Shimon, I was supposed to say Shimon or whatever, traveled around Europe presenting himself as the son of Russian-Israeli diamond mogul Lev Leviv. He used the dating app Tinder to contact women as Simon and trick them into lending him money that he never repaid. He could charm women with lavish gifts and take them to dinners on private jets using money he borrowed from other women he previously canned. He would later pretend he was being targeted by his quote-unquote enemies, often sending the same messages and images to each woman, indicating that he had just been attacked with a knife and that his bodyguard had saved him and was hurt. He then asked his victims to help him financially due to the breach of security, allegedly hindering his use of his credit cards and bank accounts. The woman would often take out bank loans and new credit cards in order to help. He would then use the money gained through that deception to lure new victims while essentially operating a Ponzi scheme. Later, he would pretend to repay his victims by sending forged documents showing fake bank transfers and then break off contact with the victims. So let's have it, man. So I remember you had told me, I asked you if you had watched this documentary on Netflix, and obviously you were like, the dude's my hero. I was actually rooting for him in the end. You know, it was just more like, you know, we were just having a good laugh about it. And then I think I took time. I think it was that day where we were talking about it. I actually watched it because my wife had said it was a really interesting documentary. So pretty much the little description I just read gives you a good, clear indication of what happened. Now, definitely want to hear your thoughts about it. I have my thoughts about it. And I'm curious to know, what does everybody think on our Instagram? Because we did post up a picture of the gentleman, the guy who schemed this money from these chicks. People were giving us their pretty much their opinions on what they thought and all that. But I mean, almost to me, I'll give my thought about it. It's almost like one of those things where you saw it coming from a mile away. Now, given being in that position of like those chicks being in those positions, obviously, right, where they were fooled to this whole, I guess you could say, perception that this person was trying to give them. Like, if he legitimately was a good actor to make everything seem like what it was when it really wasn't, I mean, I guess at that point, right? But I think there were some red flags along the way where you could almost kind of tell where things are getting a little bit to be like too good to be true in a sense, right? But I mean, Brett, you tell me, man, like, what do we think about this whole situation with having to do with this Tinder swindler?
Well, okay, so here's the thing: the guy, for one, the Instagram comments that we got, I think, I have to go off the top, right? I don't have my notes to refer to, but
I'll pull it up too.
Blame your brother podcast. They definitely did not, the question was, is this guy a legend or a piece of shit? Yeah. Right. Yeah. And of course, the response, I think 100% of the responses we got were the guy's a piece of shit. Yes. And now what I'm saying he's a legend in the sense that this guy got $10 million from multiple women worldwide, playing an act that he fooled everybody, and served 5 months in prison, and is already out and still rich, right? Got to keep the money, and now he's already he has a talent agent in Hollywood, and he's looking at he's interested in starting a podcast, hosting a dating show, even though he's not allowed on Tinder. He's not allowed on any dating sites. But I'm saying he's a legend in the sense that he duped these women out of $10 million. And if anyone can dupe anyone out of that much money, I'm saying you're already a legend. And he didn't, and got to keep it after serving 5 months of prison.
Yeah, only 5 months. That's what's crazy too. Yeah.
Now, what he did was really bad. And it's like, you're watching this show. I watched all 3 episodes. It's a 3-episode series.
I think, that's right. Yeah.
And you couldn't help but be like, look at these women like they were so stupid. There was only one woman that I was rooting for. That it was the one in the end who didn't know, she didn't know that she was being scammed until a journalist responded to her and said, hey, this is what's going on. And then she finally got smart and started taking his clothes when he was trying to get more money and all that. Yeah. She'd already given him a bunch of money that she'll never get back. But she decided that right there at the end, once that journalist responded, coordinated with her, that she was going to start taking his clothes away from him and sell them on eBay. Because she's like, you know what? I don't have any money. But you do. You have all this money. You can actually get it paid back once you get all that. And so she started taking his name brand clothes, selling them on eBay. And then when he's asking for the money, she's like, well, I haven't sold anything yet. Meanwhile, she's pocketing all this money. So I was rooting for her. But when I saw that he only got 5 months in prison, I was like, like the honest side of me says that there's no way that's fair. There's no way that you can swindle, because all that's going to do is it's going to make copycats, right? Where people are, once they know, like once you find people like that are dishonest and they can say, well, I can get $10 million, even if it's not $1 million. And all I have to do is just play this game. I mean, the guy wrote the script. He wrote the script for all these other guys to follow. Oh, the other thing too, what was funny was he went in for plastic surgery.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes, he did.
And the guy, it was like in Czechoslovakia. And the guy was like, oh no, I don't do. He was trying to change facial recognition and all that. And
Yeah.
the guy's like, I don't do that. Only criminals ask for that. You know, the girl that's with him is like, yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was, I think it was eye opening. And I think that women really need to watch this, and because it was too unrealistic. And I'm just like, even like, it's like one part of me wants to feel bad for these women. Another part is like, you deserve everything you got for being like, that's the game. That's the price you pay for being so naive. And so I don't want to say stupid, but it was really stupid what they did and how they could fall into a trap. Because I'm thinking, how could anyone fall into a trap that deep and continue to play the game, take out new credit cards? It was crazy,
dude.
So
yeah, that's just to follow along with what you're saying though. You do. Yeah. I mean, I would just be blown away by the fact that if a person is asking you for like a large amount of number in regards to money, but at the same time, like you said, like it also kind of interests me on how he was really like, because, you know, obviously we heard it from them in this series, but to really know kind of to see how he played it off, you know, as him being, because at the same time, you're almost acting out a part that you're being someone you're not. So,
100%.
Dude, was his fucking acting skills fucking by far like subpar up to where like elite level where he was like able to just bam, I'm gonna get Shorty over here to fucking throw me $100,000 worth of fucking, you know, her credit line or whatever the fuck, and it's like, you know, her, you know, it's insane. Like, you're right. It's like, it just seems like it's so unrealistic to me. And when I was watching it, I'm like, I'll be damned. See, he cracked the code on this one. And
yeah,
you're right. Like at the same time, it's like, three. I mean, it's like not the three that we know of are the ones that came out and talked about it, right? But there was more. So he did this like multiple times. So it's to say, like, think that nobody caught up until him until the last girl, where, you know, obviously the one that sold his clothes and all that, thinking that he was going to get the money back from the clothes that she sold for him. He never did. What I found more interesting though, he was kind of pretty like loose up there, because just the way he was to turn off and on with that switch, where he was being so sweet, so nice. And then he started calling him up, like, just, that was like, I'm not saying it was funny, but I was laughing because it's like, how can this be where this seems normal, where he's so easy to flip that switch and be like off the grid, just crazy, start saying all these words, and then he's all super sweet. I'm like, what the hell is going on? It was insane.
I haven't heard anyone talk about him on a psychological level, but I think he is casebook narcissistic.
Oh, dude.
Because narcissists have no emotion whatsoever.
Oh, yeah.
And then when things don't go their way, oh God, if you've ever come across a narcissist who gets called out on their bullshit, they absolutely explode. And it looked exactly like what his explosions were.
Oh, dude. Yeah, it was bad. It was just really bad. Yeah. And it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But the story was really interesting, like I said. And like, ultimately too, man, it's like you kind of have to, you know, be in that position to where you just met this person online. Well, first of all, that itself, meeting somebody online, especially in today's dating scene, it is just crazy. That's just like the new norm, or they're trying to create this wave of like, this is the new norm of how you meet people, where like rewind time, even before like the internet was really a major thing, or social media in general, you would meet people just here and there through just mutual friends and all that stuff, and cool, you know? So it was a whole different feel. And now it's like where you're just meeting people online, you know, you swipe left, swipe right, you know, whatever. That itself, you have to be more cautious, I think, at that point. And, you know, but obviously this is what happened, and this was the outcome for people that obviously fell victim to this guy. And at the same time, it's like you kind of have to. I mean, what can you do at this point? You know, and they still owe the money. You're right. They still owe the money. He only got 5 months in jail, which was, I feel like, a slap on the wrist, in my opinion. And you're right. He wants to go into acting now. He wants to be part of a dating show. He's also giving free business advice if you pay him for a large sum of, I forgot how much it was, but
that site's dead now.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay. So, but he was trying to do that though, right? He was trying to like charge X amount of money for quote unquote business advice and all that. And it was just so crazy to see he went back to what he was doing before, and then now he was saying that he was going to sue Netflix for
disparagement of character, or
something
whatever.
like that. I'm like, dude, you are off your rocker, homie. So I don't know, man. The whole story was crazy. I was like, how is this guy getting away with this?
You know, okay, so then his punishment was to get banned. Now, what I've thought about, and this is the case that brings it up, is in Seattle, there was a lady who went on, I think it was Plenty of Fish, that she went and found this guy. And the guy was from Lake Stevens, Washington. And he was clearly insane. And I think she was from Seattle. So then they went to like a baseball game or something. All of a sudden she goes missing and nobody can find her. Well, then all of a sudden they find body parts all over, like in different trash cans all around Seattle. And so this guy ended up cutting her into pieces. And
that's right. I did hear about this. Okay.
Remember that?
Yes.
What I always thought ever since then, I'm like, why don't these dating sites require, like, especially in today's day and age, at minimum, a background check? Like, you have, and the option, right? So women are in charge on these things, right? So, and I say that because it's, these men are always looking, and the women are the more vulnerable for these types of things than women. And so I'm going, why don't they have a requirement for men to and it would be cool for women too, right? To take a background check and say, and then so you can see on their profile is, has this person taken a police background check, and you don't have to see what it is, right? But if they've checked it out, unless but it would go, yes, this person has felonies, this person has whatever. But I think that people are entitled, and you can say it's privacy concerns or what, but you can set those standards to where you say, well, okay, privacy or not, you have to agree to release this information. Definitely. And we're doing it in the name of women's safety.
Oh, for sure.
And so women, they can filter their results and say, okay, I don't want any prospects who haven't taken a background check, who haven't submitted a background check. I think if you could set that, you could protect a lot of people. Now, I don't know if this would have helped this guy, because this guy would have been he was on a war path. But this is an extreme case. I'm just talking about overall online dating in general, safety in general. And so that's always been my idea. But I don't know. I don't know if, I think I think it'd be worth it to do it. I do.
Definitely. And I think that feature, actually, I have seen it before. I do sell some stuff on OfferUp sometimes, and it actually gives you the option to verify yourself, to say that you've already I don't think it's like a background check, but I think you upload like your ID or something like that to know that it's verification. Yes, I think that's what it is. But I think it's the same. I don't think it's the same thing. I think it's a little different, but it's something like that. I get what you're saying, where you can actually filter out that you would, like, if you're on that dating site, right, you would want to filter out the people that actually have gone verified and have gone through a background check, just to make sure everything lines up and everything's legit. Definitely for to be safe out there, because it is a crazy world out there, man. It's just, especially with this type of stuff happening. I mean, not only getting murdered, but it's like, obviously getting swindled out of 10 M's, and just this dude just writing off like it's whatever. And it's crazy, like, this dude really felt no sympathy of doing what he was doing, especially leaving these chicks for one. It's like, whatever, it is what it is. But like, taking all that money, and then to think, like, wouldn't you think to yourself, this is a large amount of money, and he pretty much said he doesn't want to leave any, quote, paper trail. I mean, that's a red flag itself. Like, why would you want to just throw this money out there thinking that, I mean, regardless, like, if you guys are dating, like, for precautions, like, you want to make sure that you're going to get your money back. Like, if you're really letting this person borrow that much, like, you need to protect your ass too. So I don't know, man. There was just a lot of things that you could point out, definitely, but obviously they just fell into the persona of this person. He was a multi-millionaire. He's flossing the Gucci, the Versace. He's flying on private jets. He's rolling in a freaking, Rolls Royce, all that. I mean, they were probably just starstruck from that. That's like, damn, we hit the jackpot. Got this dude that, making a lot of money. He wants to date me. We're going to date this, and that. And, yeah, man, ultimately, this is what happened. But, I mean, the girl that actually came up and swindled him and, said that he was going to sell money to help him out, I mean, she kind of had the last laugh and was like, no, I got you. And I think the way they caught him was he was on a flight. I forgot where. Do you remember where he was going to? But I
think it was Germany.
Okay, so he was catching a flight to Germany, and I think she called, is it the police or something? And then from there, they caught him when he got there, and that was that. That's kind of where he got caught up.
Said
and
he is on that airplane, and then as soon as that airplane landed, they got him. They had to act quick too. He was so quick. They called him the Ghost, I think.
The Ghost? Damn.
Yeah.
Pretty ruthless name, the Ghost.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah,
but no, man, it was crazy, man.
So I definitely would not at all call this guy a legend for what he did. His business savvy, because like it or love it, this guy has business savvy that is unparalleled to most people.
Yeah.
And he did it in a dishonest way, but you could argue that Jay-Z, when he talked about selling drugs on the playground at Marcy Playground, he worked his way up the same way. You know what I mean? All those people, that took all these drugs and all these cocaine, like, that's what drug dealers do, is they're killing all these, their what do you call it? Their supplier, or no, their buyers, their customers.
Yeah.
They're killing all their customers, but then they're the ones that get to rise to the fame. So it's a different type of business, but still, people were harmed in your rise. And I think you just have to, as a businessman, as a shark in the business world, you have to realize that you're going to come across people that are stupid, whether they're drug users and addicted to drugs, or so naive that they think that they're going to marry a billionaire's son who works in the diamond industry.
Right.
And that's what it is,
Yeah, it's very,
only the strong survive, baby.
Yeah, well, I made up a news quote. I think I sent it to you. And I should trademark this, because I don't think I tried Googling it too, just to be sure if this nobody said this or trademarked this saying. You know how they say only the strong survive? And then I was like, only the strong survive, the weak will die. That's what. So there you go. That's a bar right there from us, man.
Human
right
nature.
There.
Yeah. It's called Darwinism.
No, man, but overall, anybody hasn't checked out that Netflix series, definitely check it out and let us know what you think. I mean, we definitely like to read just different perspectives from different people. Just see, hero, villain, just a fucked up person overall. And what do you think about the gals that let this, I don't want to say let this happen, but got swindled, keyword swindled from, for X amount of money. But we did have a couple comments. I'll definitely read them out just to, because we like to engage with people. That's one thing we definitely want to do more of when we talk about this type of stuff. And I think that's what we'll do more a little bit here, more in the future. Like in regards to topics we kind of have preloaded to talk about in future episodes. We'll post up a post in regards to one of the topics, and we want to ask your opinions, and we'll read them out here on the podcast. So we did have one that said, definitely not a legend, just a lowlife. He even called the girl's family with a threat. That too, that was pretty messed up, because he was threatening people at that point too. That's one thing I think we forgot to leave off, or we left off on that. That he was threatening people, and he was saying, if you don't pay me that money, or if you don't, what was he saying? If the girl that was at the end where she made money off his clothes, if you don't pay me, this will be the last thing that you'll ever hear. Just like a bunch of like, dude, this guy is nuts. Like, what the hell? So definitely, yes, that is true. He was threatening the family as well. And then it says that was so wrong, and he wasn't even that smart with the finances. Let's see what else.
Who said that?
This is Z's does. It's the first comment on our post.
Okay.
If I mispronounce that, I'm very sorry. I am horrible at reading, as you can tell from past previous episodes. And Blame Your Bro said, POS, 100%. Destroyed lives and only served a few months in prison. It's absurd. The BNT podcast said, hey, ha ha ha. He was a piece of shit, but those ladies had plenty of red flags. That is true. So yeah, man. It's overall, I guess a lot of people just said he's a POS, just ruined lives. I think it is still kind of messed though. I would think that these ladies will probably not, I wouldn't say they would get all that waved off, but at least like, at the end of the day, though, it was their choice to get all that money out. And, it was kind of them that did it, not him. Like, if it was him that did it under their name or something like that, I think it would be a different story. But since it was these people actually pulling that money out and opening up those credit cards, I think that's where it gets kind of to be a little bit of a slippery slope, because at the end, it's going to fall back on them, I guess you can say, right?
Yeah. And you could argue that these ladies got swindled twice. Once by Simon Leave or whatever.
I know, right?
I'm pretty sure that when they aired this Netflix series, that these women, they got an appearance fee, which was like probably pennies. But whoever created this thing, I'm sure they're just raking in the millions.
Oh, dude, hands down,
not sharing any of it. with these women.
Let's see now. Okay, fair enough. Do you think that they're gonna get? Do you think people are gonna call out, cry wolf and say you deserve to pay these ladies or pay off their legal fees and their money that they owe to their banks or their loans or whatever? Like how do you think it's gonna pan out?
I think we already made the point that these women are, and I'm just going to be polite and just say, are so naive and still naive. For them, the best they're going to get is to be able to tell their story, no matter how naive they look.
Yeah.
But if they're going to be naive enough to sign these papers, if they were savvy, they would have said, okay, if we're going to tell our story, I want my bills paid. My bills are a lot higher than these crumbs you're paying. And and they wouldn't have Netflix wouldn't have had a story at all if all these girls would have been smart. And really, and the way these women, they were already out a few $1 million anyway. They could have all collectively hired a documentary team themselves and put this together themselves.
That's true. No, that you have a very good point. No, definitely. I mean, that would be a way to be like, how could we make, this is just one of those stories that's just unbelievable. If we all play for the same person, the same way, the same man and all that, like, why not just us be the people capturing the story, putting it out, and that be like the leak of like who this person is and what they're doing, and let that break out. Then you have people approach you like, hey, can we tell your story? Blah, 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 blah. Yes. Recoup that money, pay it off. And then you won at the end. You know what I'm saying? But
then you can split ways. Yep.
Dude, yeah, it is a dicey game out there, and that's crazy. But what's more just insane that this dude's out there. So for anybody that's out there trying to like hit the Tinder or anybody else, definitely look out for him. I mean, we have our picture on our Instagram if you want to know who we're talking about, to stay away from this person, because I mean, he already got a couple chicks for a large sum of 10 mil. So definitely don't get fooled, because you already know this is out. This is a warning. We're helping you out. All right, we love you. We care about everybody out there. So we're trying to help you out, doing you a favor with us being what we're talking about. So definitely on the lookout.
He has his own Instagram, and he already has 58,000 followers.
Dude, yeah, he's gonna make. Oh, that is even the more like the sad thing about this, that he's gonna use this to his advantage. Like, regardless that he's the villain, he's gonna use this to capitalize on it, and it's gonna blow up. And dude, you're gonna have, like, I think I was reading that he was dating like an actual this model from Greece, I think, like this like legit model from Greece that he's dating her, and you can see that he's still living this so-called like high style, lavish, like just lifestyle that he's perceiving out there and just putting out there. So it's like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy that he's just doing his thing.
That was post prison too. Dude. She's like, I don't care, baby. I'm just as naive as the rest of them.
Oh my God. Imagine she got swindled too. We found out, like, oh my God, come on. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. It's crazy, dude.
It's beautiful. He plays the part well.
Oh, dude. That would be crazy, dude. Like, what if, just, I'm putting this like a what if he wanted to get his podcast out there, and, us being, going up, moving up the ladder slowly but surely, and he wanted to get on the pod. What do you think? Should we get him up here so we can light him up?
Oh, I wouldn't though, because I don't like, he didn't swindle me out of my money,
right,
and it's no skin off my back. I'd throw him softball questions. I would not be the hard hitter that, because really, I'm just like, I put a lot of the fault on these women. I think what he did was really shady, and it sucks, but I mean, they already threw the law at him as much as they could. So it's not like he's a free man, right? He's already, served his time.
Yeah.
He's already done his time. He's already, been accountable, like it or not. But that's, if you don't, if you want stiffer punishments, you got to vote. You got to talk to your people and say, hey, man, are we really going to let people who swindle, $10 million from these people just get 5 months in prison? That's between you and your leaders, your local leaders.
Definitely, dude. So yeah.
I hold no malice toward him. I'm not the guy that's gonna grill him.
Right. No, it's like, it would be funny if he swindled money out of the both of us. He just worked his charm on us. Oh, dude. Then I feel like
then I'd be a little bit sad. It's sad.
Oh man, but yeah, definitely.
Simon, tell me more. No, you know what I would tell him? I'd be like, listen, tell me about your enemies. Tell me about I will get them myself, Simon.
Yeah.
Simon, listen to me. I've handled enemies in the past.
Like,
just tell me who they are.
I know people who know people.
I know people that know people.
So you pay me, and then we swindle him, and then we ride off into the sunset.
Absolutely.
Sucker. Oh man, definitely. But interesting story though. That is definitely. It was definitely the talk of the hour. I feel like because it was all over social media and all that, talking about the Tinder Swindler and all that. So definitely, I told him like we would love to talk about this on the podcast. So if anybody hasn't checked out that Netflix series, go check it out. It's very interesting, very interesting. Again, let us know what you think. Hit us up on the comments on our Instagram post when we posted about this, and just let us know your thoughts and opinions on this stuff. But moving on though, onto a more conspiratorial side, it's crazy that stuff like this happens, and it's more, it raises questions, and it raises kind of, I wouldn't say concern, but it raises eyebrows. I know for sure. And this is in regards to the Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, situation that they've been obviously investigating. They've been going to court for all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. And also, didn't they already they dethroned or unknighted or whatever you want to call it? They pretty much removed his royalty from him. Prince Andrew, right?
Yeah, he's stripped. And then the Queen of England got involved and basically told one of the victims, "You need to sue Prince Andrew."
Oh,
and so
really?
she did, and she got I think she got like $20 million or whatever as a settlement. And so the royal family is not accepting this. They're not hiding it. They're not covering it. In fact, they are stripping Prince Andrew. He's already been stripped of his power and everything. And it looks like now they went right for the paycheck too. So I tell you got to give the royal family some credit for that one. The Queen,
yeah, for sure.
I'm definitely kissing the ring on that one.
I'm like, hey, knight us at the as the podcast knights right here. Like if I would ever meet her in my lifetime, probably not. But yeah, definitely. No, that's awesome though. That's if that's the case, yeah. They don't want to be tied with something like that. They don't want to dirty the name. Hey, all respects. Very interesting though that they were like, hey, you need to go after him and proceed legal action against this dude. So 21 mil. Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, so what happened? Yeah, it was supposed to go to court, but then they decided to settle out of court. And then that's when the lady got all of her money. But yeah, the Queen was supporting this woman 100%, and that big kudos to the Queen for that.
Dude. So and also what's really interesting too is that there was a photo of the person that was pressing these allegations against Prince Andrew. I forgot her name. I think it's like Vanessa something, right? I forget her name.
Yeah, I don't know her name, but yes, that's who I'm talking about.
So there was a picture. And what's even more crazy, this dude had the audacity to lie and say that he doesn't remember her, all this and that.
Right.
And this girl put this story where how he met him, this infamous picture of what you see them, Prince Andrew's kind of holding her by the waist. Yep. And of course, who do you see in that picture as well? Ghislaine Maxwell in the back, just kind of smirking and kind of hanging by the doorway there. I mean, you're like, dude, come on, man. Really? You're really going to say you never met this chick? And he could say, well, I met a lot of people in my life, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, dude, there's evidence there. That's like the actual first piece of evidence they could say, well, there's a picture of you here with her. So how can you explain that? And him just brushing it off for years, saying that he had no involvement. He knew nothing. And then lo and behold, what happens?
Yeah.
So
I find it so disgusting that there are so many old people like this. I mean, they had so many people that went to that Epstein Island.
Yeah.
And they had this network where they were trafficking in these women, like this guy that we're talking about, that you're about to talk about. He sent Jeffrey Epstein triplets. They were French triplets over to his island when they were 12 years old. So, and these 12, I'm sure everybody knows what happened. So, as a gift, that was Jeffrey Epstein's gift from this fashion mogul, fashion guy, But go ahead and talk about what happened to him.
Definitely. So that's what we're going to get into. And this person that my homie here is referring to. So the title of this article is Alleged Epstein Pimp Jean-Luc Brunel discovered hanged in French prison cell. Jean, the French modeling agent accused of procuring over 1,000 women and girls for Jeffrey Epstein, was discovered hanging in his Paris prison cell Saturday morning while, quote, security cameras were reportedly not working. This sounds so familiar, Brett. I wonder where this could have happened before. But let's proceed with this article before we dive into our thoughts and opinions and our ideas, or not ideas, but our thoughts. Just piecing the puzzles together, I guess you can say. The 76-year-old apparent suicide bears striking similarities to Epstein's death in August of 2019, where U.S. authorities later said that technical errors led to the CCTV footage of convicted sex offender's prison cell being lost, the Daily Express reports. A night patrol found his lifeless body at about 1 a.m. A source told the Daily Mail of Brunel's death. A judicial inquiry has been launched and early evidence points to suicide. The Daily Express reports that the apparent suicide occurred in the section of the prison where, quote, where the security cameras were reportedly not working. Brunel is thought to have been alone at the time of his death, and there were no cameras to record his final hours, according to an investigating source at La Santé, one of the toughest jails in France, Daily Mail reports. His lawyers, Matthias and Marianne and Christophe, released a statement on his death, according to the French newspaper Le Monde. His distress was that of a 75-year-old man crushed by a media judicial system on which it would be time to wander. Jean has continued to proclaim his innocence. He multiplied his efforts to prove it. His decision was not driven by guilt, but by deep sense of injustice. Several models have leveled accusations against Brunel, who was indicted last June for alleged rape of minor over 15 years. Le Monde reports Brunel was already in pretrial detention following a previous allegation that resulted in December 2020 indictment of, quote, rape of a minor over 15 years old and sexual harassment of 2 other women. In November 2021, he was briefly released from detention under judicial supervision, but after a few days, the Paris Court of Appeal decided to return him to custody, according to Le Monde. So what do you think, brother? I mean, how is it coincidental that the same way cameras? And you tell me, man, like you would think that a prison, especially being the toughest prison in France, they're having technical issues, and you wouldn't think you would actually keep up your stuff up to par to make sure that there's no any funny business going around. Maybe somebody escaping. I mean, I don't know, but for it to happen already kind of 2 times in the same way seems a little fishy to me. But what do I know? But what do you think, man?
Well, I think this is very scary, actually. I think that, so we saw that Prince Andrew was involved. How many of American politicians were involved? The one that comes to mind is Bill Clinton, because Jeffrey Epstein had a picture of Bill Clinton in a blue dress, which was the Monica Lewinsky dress, painted in his house. But who beyond Bill Clinton? And really, it's just crazy because they took all of Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein had binders. He had a lot of information on a lot of people. And you would think he kept cameras on his property. So whoever raided this island has a ton of information. And it's probably incriminating as hell on a lot of people, of America's probably most respected leaders. And I think that the information they have on people could probably take down a lot of people. And I think that right now, because they control the Department of Justice, because they control the CIA, because they control the FBI, they are taking no chances with anyone talking. In fact, I'm surprised that Ghislaine Maxwell is still alive. I'm sure, I don't know if there was some sort of a secret visit that she had, but she has kept completely silent about anything that she knows. They were completely soft with her in court about the information that she knew. And but these men that are getting caught, with Prince Andrew, I don't know, but he paid the bill, so he paid basically for silence. And these people, there are people in law enforcement that know everything, and they are keeping it all quiet. So maybe this guy, this Jean, whatever his name is, maybe he was one of those ones that they felt like was going to squeal. Maybe Jeffrey Epstein, they felt like was going to squeal.
I was going to say something, yeah.
And so, I definitely don't think that, I mean, too convenient that they both died the same exact way.
Camera
issues. Same exact circumstances. No camera, no. I didn't even know about the cameras. I just, knew it was in prison and it was a suicide. Too many, but there's just too, and on the same case, on the same situation, come on, man. People think we're stupid, and we are stupid because people that are supposed to protect us are actually protecting these people, these animals. These guys are monsters. And these women, these women were too young to be able to protect themselves. That's what these law enforcement officers were supposed to do, was protect them. And here they are covering everything up. Our Department of Justice, our FBI, our CIA, they're monsters. They're monsters for covering this stuff up, for keeping everything hidden. And they can say they're taking orders all they want, but they every single one of them takes an oath, and they go completely against oath. So this deep state machine that we have is letting a lot of monsters scot-free. They're letting a lot of monsters go, and it's scary. It's scary.
Definitely, dude. No, I thought it was just too coincidental. Like the camera issues, apparently not working at the time when this went down. It's just so it's so much of a coincidence that this went down at the time where he apparently killed himself. Same with Jeffrey Epstein. He killed himself. Apparently the cameras weren't working. I don't know, man. It's just it's too much of a coincidence. I don't buy it. Something definitely went down. There's definitely people tied with it's deeply tied where there's some powerful people that have powerful connections to higher up places to where they're just cleaning up the mess, and hopefully they're trying to prevent the truth to come to light. And you're right, man. I'm also surprised that Izzy's taking over I'm surprised that Maxwell, she's still alive and breathing for now. But I mean, that's one thing too. I think at this point, if something happens to her and she's just pretty much killed herself, definitely red flags.
It's too late.
Definitely red flags.
It's too late for her. The courts were completely soft with her, and they're not going to do anything with her. They've already. I don't know who paid who off, but something
so
happened.
What was the outcome with her, actually? Because I was following the trial a little bit, and I was just trying to kind of keep up with people that were kind of keeping like a close eye on the trial, and kind of giving a brief explanation on kind of like the progress of it. I forgot where it left off. I have horrible memory, so I don't really remember what happened. But can you fill us in? Like, what was the initial kind of result or the ending, the dismissal of this, or even if the trial's dismissal, if it still continue on? Like, so what happened?
I wish I could tell you. I remember she got, I think she just got some sort of a light sentence. I don't know what it is, but I'm just like, when I heard what it was, we'd have to Google it. But when I heard what it was, I'm just like, there's no way. There's no way that someone who played such an instrumental role.
Huge role.
I mean, she was the one that was grooming these young girls and telling them exactly how to service Jeffrey Epstein, telling them how he liked his certain sexual acts to be done,
his massages and all that,
and they would have to follow it to the T, or they would lose their modeling career, or and that was, they were being duped the whole time, like, oh, you're going to be a model, you're going to do this, and then they were just lying to them. It was just one big joke, one big lie, and they didn't get anything. So and those sexual abuse is something that sticks. It will destroy a person, and I know we focus a lot on women, but it destroys men as well. And that's something that our society just does not take serious enough. And really with men, they treat it like it's a joke. But if you've ever known a man that has been, sexually molested as a child, they struggle just as much as a woman. Only, these guys, they're expected to still be manly, still be masculine. And it's so messed up. Our society, when it comes to sex crime, it's just it favors the monster every time. The monster will just get a couple years in prison or whatever, and the victim is left with permanent trauma. that is almost impossible to break. You know, a lot of them become molesters themselves, and they don't know how to cope with that monster, right? And so now society hates them because, oh, look what you are, you're this monster, when someone did that to them too. And you know, it's just I just wish we could cut the snake off at the head once someone commits a violence like that on a child. We gotta bring the death sentence back. We gotta bring execution back and start killing these people, because our society is just being running amok with these guys.
So this is a prime example, right? Just going off sometimes, you know, it's always in favor of the abuser, and unfortunately it does turn out to be that way sometimes, which is just like you said, hey man, you gotta maybe we do gotta turn it up a notch and just have a horrible punishment for somebody that does stuff like that. But I'm gonna read you a little article, right? Yeah. Man who raped four teenagers gets no jail time. Judge says incarceration isn't appropriate. Yes. A New York man who pleaded guilty to rape and sexual abuse for assaulting 4 teenage girls during parties at his parents' home will not face jail time after a judge on Tuesday sentenced them to 8 years in probation. Niagara County Court Judge Matthew Murphy said he agonized over the case of 20-year-old Christopher Belter, who was accused of committing the crimes when he was 16 or 17. Belter pleaded guilty in 2019 to a series of felony charges that included third-degree rape and attempted first-degree sexual abuse, as well as 2 misdemeanor charges of second-degree sexual abuse. Although Belter faced a maximum sentence of 8 years in prison, Murphy concluded that jail time for the man would, quote, be inappropriate in the ruling that shocked the courtroom. That's just an example.
That judge needs to absolutely be, you know, I won't even tell you. You know, sometimes I think with these judges have that act done on them, I think they need to
just throw them in a room, have at it.
Crimes. Yeah, just like, okay, you know what? If he gets no jail time, he gets to have his way with you for an hour now, Judge. George, how you feel what these victims felt, and I want you to give him the same exact sentence. I want you to give him the same exact sentence, and then you can live with yourself. But if you're going to throw that back, that type of monster atrocity back into society, that's on the judge at that time, at that point. And these prosecutors too. These prosecutors are going very lenient. I was reading a Time magazine Time article about a woman who was a psychologist who was trying to advocate for these men who were child molesters, and she was just saying basically that they need help, but we as a society need to feel more compassion for them. I'm sorry, I will not feel compassion for these monsters, and I get it that these people many of them have been molested in the past, but every person knows the difference between right and wrong. They know that when they are about to do something that's wrong, and if they cross that line and they do it, then you now have become that monster that you hated so much, and you deserve to suffer the same consequences. But with these spineless prosecutors, spineless judges, they are continuing to basically decay our society and have the American people lose trust in our justice system. That's why would a child report these crimes if they know just by Googling all these histories that these suspects are gonna serve no jail time? Well, now I'm scared to death, because now my name is all over in the paper, and now this guy, he's getting no jail time. Okay, so he sexually assaulted me last month, but now that I've outed him, now he could kill me. And this judge and this prosecutor paved the way for my murder, as a woman. And it's this leniency BS that is going on. I cannot get behind it. I cannot support it. And I really when it comes to especially crimes against children, I have no leniency whatsoever. I am appalled that we have that many states have gone away from the death penalty because that's the lowest of the lowest. And, you know, and a lot of these judges that are saying jail time isn't appropriate is because they do know that these people in prison, now this is where you got to give props to some of these prisoners, because they know the difference between real justice and this justice that they want to call justice by the prosecutors and judges. Is they know that child molesters need to be off the streets and need to be off the world, right? So they know that when these people go into prison, they're getting stabbed, they're getting killed. Oh,
that's always going to happen. I mean, you better fucking sleep with one eye open for people that go, that, you know, are those type of people, right? And I mean, dude, this judge might have saved this kid's life, but either way, it doesn't mean that, you know, he gets to fucking run off and be scot-free. I read the article, like, this came out, I think this came out like years ago. This was last year, actually. Last year, the article came out November 17th. And I was just like, what the fuck? This guy really just, it really blew my fucking mind that, like, you know, I was just like, this dude's really going to get no jail time when these four chicks came out and said that he did this to me. And it's like, not once, not twice, not three, but 4 times. I'm like, dude, how? I don't get it. Right. I do not get it. And it even sounds crazy for me to, like, when you're reading that type of, like, when you read a scenario like that, right? Like, I always ask myself, like, are we really living in reality right now? Like, the thing, this is like people could think, or even a judge at the high power of that person has to say guilty, not guilty, just let him scot free, like, whatever.
Right.
Like, oh, what do you mean? And, like, you know, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Try reading that case and being someone like Wesley Snipes, who went to prison because he didn't pay taxes.
Oh yeah, dude.
Try.
Shout out Wesley, one of my favorite actors.
Defund the IRS, by the way, all the way. Defund the IRS. I hate taxes and I hate the IRS. So, but yeah, definitely shout out to Wesley Snipes.
Blade, aka the Daywalker.
Someone like him who had to serve time in prison. You know, imagine being someone like Martha Stewart, who went to prison for insider trading, right? And then she's having to watch the types of cases take place. You know, like, wow, they threw me in prison for knowing that
the
what
game,
it
right?
was going to do. So I knew the stock was going to tank, or I knew it was going to go big, and I either sold or bought, depending on whatever the insider news was. And then she gets thrown in prison for that. Yeah. And then they're letting child molesters that are destroying lives, right? Martha Stewart and Wesley Snipes did not destroy any lives.
Nobody. And it's like, dude, and that's a perfect like comparison between, like, I don't get it. I do not understand. And it's like, especially, you know, us being fathers, right? We both have, you know, we both have little girls, bro. I'll tell you what, man, for those, I bet you those fathers are, you know, they're looking for, I mean, it would not cross my mind to think like they are scheming some way, somehow for, like, all right, the justice system ain't gonna do nothing. Okay, bet. Well, I'm just gonna say bet. That guy better be walking very carefully and better make sure that he's not by himself. So, I mean, yeah, dude, this dude's I think he's gonna get checked down the road. I think something probably already happened with people just already not really rolling with that, you know, and, you know, knowing what he did. I mean, I think he's going to get checked and pressed on it. And I just, at that point, you let it happen. Let it happen. Like, if you were cops and saw that happen, stand back. Do not even interfere. Obviously, probably, I don't know if you want to say let him kill the guy, but still, like, I mean, it's not going to be too nice, you know, it's not going to be too pretty either. But yeah, overall, man, that's crazy when, you know, obviously I wanted to read that because of what you were saying, that sometimes the justice system favors the people that cause this harm. And ultimately, that's just a prime example, dude, that this dude just got a slap on the wrist and said, give him probation, dude. A joke.
Do it again. You're free to do it again. And that's basically what I hear as a criminal.
Yeah, it is a joke, man. It is definitely a joke. But yeah, brother, I mean, dude, yeah, we definitely, this was a good one. We definitely talked about 2 good topics, obviously, or 2 interesting topics, you could say. Tinder Swindler, and obviously this whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, how it's just tied to a bigger picture. And I mean, dude, it's one of those things where I think this is not going to be the last thing we hear of it. And will we know the truth? I don't know. But, you know what, we're going to keep you updated as time goes on to make sure, you know, we follow this through and see you know, what everybody what we think, what you think, and just is this tied up? Is this tied up to bigger people up within in the system here? I think so. I think my boy thinks so. And yeah, I mean, dude, this is just crazy. It's a wild big story.
I was really hoping that we were going to have some time to talk about World War III before we got some nukes dropped on us.
Oh, but, dude, I know, right?
You know,
so let's talk. I mean, let's talk a little about that. What do you think? Do you think it's crossing paths to be like that, or what do you think the stance with Russia and Ukraine are at right now?
I've been glued to my TV today watching everything about the Ukraine-Russia thing and the protest. And so I'll tell you this, there's a lot of similarities between what Obama was doing in the Middle East with the Arab Spring situation, where they were overthrowing governments to get more America-aligned governments in place. Mm-hmm. So they were getting all these countries out of power. I think that a lot of this is smoke and mirrors. I think a lot of this is propaganda, because the president of Ukraine, I think his name is Zelensky, I think, he was talking about America, saying that he says, you guys say that you're our allies, and you say that you are talking about sanctions, you know, with Russia. You say that they're right at our back door, that they could invade any minute. Why aren't there sanctions now then, if they're this close to war? And then so apparently the thing was that America said, well, we're not going to sanction them until they go to war. And he's like, okay, well, that's fair enough. But then why are you provoking all this stuff? Why can't we just have dialogue? Because Germany is there, and Germany and Ukraine are both saying, we don't want to fight. We don't want a war. But for some reason, America and the Biden administration continues to stoke these flames. They've been on TV nonstop saying, oh, it looks like Russia is preparing for a false flag attack, and it's going to be, you know, a bunch of they're setting up a false flag attack to make it look like Ukraine is going to kill their own people, and then Russia's going to come in, and you know, and it's just a bunch of crazy stuff. So Ukraine America cannot be trusted by Ukraine right now, especially administration. And I think that Biden, his polls are actually lower than Trump's were at the same time in Trump's presidency. And I think they're in scramble mode. They're about to lose the midterms in a landslide, and I think they're all freaking out. So what every president does when their polls start going down is they find a war they can get into so that they can become a wartime president. And I think that Biden is desperately needs a war to get on to start. But the problem is we've never fought a war with a nuclear power before.
Yeah.
And Russia power. And I think they're playing with fire. And if not a fire, I mean, with everything going on with China right now, you've got a lot of people that are going to back China and Russia, and America has pissed off a lot of countries. And we just left $85 billion worth of brand new equipment in Afghanistan, equipment that the Taliban, our enemies, have. And so what are we going to do? How are we going to, the dollar's about to fall. So I think America is in a very peculiar position. The other reason why we go to war is our debt is so sky high right now, $30 trillion, that the only way that you can pay off a debt that's high is when it's that high is to go to war and plunder your enemy's riches. And so I think that they're trying to work away with that with the European allies. And I think that's where America is sort of trying to cut a deal with Europe, and NATO is trying to figure out, hey, how can we take Russia to war? It'll be the most bloodiest war we've seen. I think it'll be bloodier than World War II. There's so much more people. There's so many. It puts us at risk living where we live. Because we have so many military things, and so you know, it absolutely could be the difference between life and death on this. And you know, and I think Biden he's completely not fit for this job. This is a moment where I just wished that we would have had, not that Trump was a great president. A lot of people say he's great. A lot of people hated him. But one thing I truly admired about Trump, and I was hoping to admire about Obama, was Obama came in and said, no war. I'm going to get us out of war. Obama didn't. He got us into more wars. He got us into more conflict. Trump was the only president we've had in our lifetime that has not got us into any war. And so now that we're flirting with disaster, we're flirting with another war. I'm just beside myself right now. And it's a war that America seems to be starting. And I don't know. I don't think Russia has said that they're pulling out. We're going to see, but I just do not trust the U.S. government in this. I think they're playing the same games they played during the Arab Spring years. It's the same playbook, and basically anybody that is paying attention to this Biden administration, they know that this is the same playbook as the Obama administration. He's doing the same exact thing as Obama did. And it's terrible. It's terrible for the American public, because there's a lot of us that don't want to be in war. They don't want our livelihoods to be destroyed. I mean, unemployment, jobless rates, food, inflation. I mean, this is the worst presidency of our lifetime.
Yeah. And also just, adding more humor to this, because it's a very serious topic. We had some listeners from Russia. I think we had like a couple. So I'm like, hey, we love you. We love everybody. So Don't look at us as the enemies. Hell no. I don't call the shots. Neither does my boy here. It's all about living peace over here on our end. So, hey, if if we get captured, hey, just know we went out like heroes.
Yeah.
As podcasters.
Yeah. I mean, working in crypto is you meet people from all over the world. And, I think that's the thing that keeps us all together on one. The unity is that we all realize all of our governments suck. Our governments are, they want control. They want to control their people. There is no true freedom. There is no true democracy. I mean, you see Canada that rolled out the martial law in Canada. They stopped banks from giving any money to these truckers, this trucker convoy. And it was the funniest thing, because it was a freedom convoy. It was a convoy that said, we just want to not have any vaccine mandates. We want freedom. We want the freedom to choose. And Justin Trudeau, he did not. He rolled out the police, and it's very scary what a lot of these governments are doing. They're all playing the same playbook, and that's where us in crypto we recognize how bad our governments are, and we're all setting up avenues that are decentralized that the government cannot touch. And the beauty about the fact when they shut down banks, right, that they call centralized exchanges like Coinbase an on-ramp and an off-ramp for, if you want to change your crypto to fiat. But the beauty is the more that the government does this, the more and more retailers are saying, well, we'll just take your crypto then. We'll accept crypto. Yeah. And so as we can all start using crypto to buy food, to buy, everyday things, we will. And then the government can say whatever. They can freeze your assets. They can take your bank. What are you going to do? What are you going to do to us? It means that you've got to figure out a way that you're going to work with your, we are the boss. We are the voters. This is our country. It's not yours. You're not a king. That's why we went to war with Great Britain, was because we did not want a king. We did not want to be oppressed. And when governments flirt with, when they get this much power that is backed by the media, backed by corporations, backed by social media, then they all collectively have created this monster, which is democracy, which is freedom lovers. And this is not just America, this is Canada, it's France, it's all these countries, it's England. Just go look anywhere with these protests. These protests are all fighting the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it's definitely wild, man. It's interesting times we're living in, especially now, man. So, overall, I could say we don't hope for go to war, but if that happens, it's kind of out of our control. We're just like, we're just living in this country that we don't make the decisions at this point when it gets to that level. So, hey man, I mean, we'll definitely we'll talk about it more as time goes on and as the days go on, and we'll just count it like it is, man, and just go from there. But yeah, man, it's crazy. Other than that, man, I mean, you got anything else on the table you want to definitely discuss, man? I know I think we hit the end mark on this one.
Yeah, we did.
To our co-host, our third co-host for this episode.
Yeah, she's my guest host.
Your guest host.
Yeah. Bye.
All right, so we're gonna wrap that up. Definitely go check us out on all major streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and FM Radio, YouTube for all the videos for all our past previous episodes, and of course check us out on Instagram at the Tinder Podcast, where you can catch all the updates, all the video preview clips for our upcoming episodes, and just all the randomness that we have to offer. So we'll catch you in the next one. Take care. We love you. Happy Friday. Have an awesome weekend. Peace, not love. Let's not go to war. We love you, Russia. Well, we love the people that listen to us. That's all I'm going to say. But we love you. Take care. Deuces.